Good day, traders. My name is Sihlengema from QuickTrade. Welcome to our technical analysis. Please indicate if you can hear me clearly. I see Tato is already in the house. Could you please indicate to me, Tato, if you can hear me clearly without any issues? You can just shoot me a message there at the bottom. The chat tool has some field at the bottom where you can type your message and say hi, how are you, and all of that. Tato. Let me just double check. My mic is on my end, so therefore I think I'm good to go. There aren't any issues. We are good to go. Okay, Tato, the issue, Tato, is that you are not responding. I need you to be interactive. I cannot just be talking to myself. This is a class where I expect people to interact. If you need me to call you now and find out what the issue is, please let me know so that I can try and assist you. Otherwise, I'm not going to focus on you. I'm going to focus on other people that are going to be like I can't say committed, people that are going to be responding to my questions and giving me some feedback. Hi, Katleho, how's it? Guys, I've just sent you a message there. I just need to know if you guys can hear me. You don't have any issues. Could you please be so kind and give me some form of response to let me know if you can hear me? Is there an issue here? No response. Why? It's on. So you can't hear me. What is the problem here? Speakers 100%, everything good. My mic is on. Again here, my mic is on. There are no issues. Okay, guys, I'm trying a couple of tricks here to see if I cannot go back. Well, I can't say online because I mean I'm online already. I just need you guys to get my audio or to get to like hear me. I think maybe now things are better. See, Katleho. Is busy typing some message there. We hear you now. Oh, okay. You can hear me now. Okay, finally. Thank you so much, guys. Sorry about that minor hiccup that we just had there. I don't know what the issue is with this program that we are using here. I think there's a bit of an issue with it. Okay, Kateho. Please give me. Okay, can. Okay, let me get the lady's name. Can Tato hear me also? Tato, can you hear me? Please send me a message there at the bottom of the chat too, and let me know if you can hear me. Katleho, from the little that you've learned over the past maybe 2 days or so, what is it that you are finding? I understand yesterday you spotted a long on Sasol, and we had a look at it. You said that it was very close to its overhead resistance, and it seems to be struggling a bit today, although we are up 0.78%. The current uh, price is on 482.49 with a high of 483.47 for the day and a low of 475.50. What is it that you are looking at? Is there anything that you found interesting or you'd want us to go through? Oh, you went into CBS cash build. Okay, I'll have a look at cash build. Okay, you went into cash build this morning. You took a short key RSI. Okay, I don't know what you're referring to by that key RSI there, or you're talking about key resistance. And it says 415 and 380 or thereabout. I don't know. What are you referring to there? Key RSI. Are you talking about key resistance? Katleho? Okay, I understand, but I mean, I'm talking about the key RSI. What is that key RSI? What do you mean by that? Because I need to correct you if you don't understand it. Because I mean, RSI is an indicator. It's an indicator, RSI. Okay, let me do CSB. Okay, let's do 1 week. Okay, 1 week is down. Let's do 1 month. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay. I see that interesting area that you're referring to there, Katleho. From my analysis, I'm looking at 422 or 420 and 385. I agree with your 380. Well, I mean, with your 385 there, 380. So mine is actually around 385. It hasn't really decided exactly what it wants to do, but I mean, if you check on the weekly chart, it's trading below its moving average. You check again on the daily, it's below the moving average and it's coming down to its support around 385.77. And if we do manage to break below 385, there's a good chance that we could come down to 360, 362. Around 360, 362, I think there is a lot of buying interest around that area. I think we could get more people coming in and buying up cash build. But I mean, let's try and draw a rising trend line to see if we can get any support through that rising trend line to be more realistic in our target setting here. Okay, well, I mean, around this area, I mean, in terms of the rising trend line that we have here, every time the price gets to 385, buyers step in and start pushing the price higher. So that area, I think there's a lot of buying interest there. I think I like it. I think I like it. I think we could be seeing this price rising from this area here. In fact, if you went in to take a short, I think you're on the wrong side of the market. I mean, for now, let me correct that one. For now, I think you're on the wrong side of the market because I mean that 385, 382 area is a buy zone. If you look at this horizontal line that we drew here earlier, I'm going to make it stand out by bolding it. Standing out and the rising trend line also. Let me try and make it bold. So I'm looking at these two lines where they cross here. This is where the action is supposed to really take place here. These were supposed. I think there's going to be. I mean, these where I think we're going to have a decider whether the bears or the bulls win this battle here. Because I mean, where we are around 385, like today. What's the low for the day? The low for the day is 385.01. That's the low for the day so far. And yesterday's low was 380, 380.13. So around this area here of 335, there's a lot of buying interest lying around this area here. I don't have my. Let me see if I can do my market depth on this one. I want to try and do my market depth on CSP. I want to see how it looks like. Buyers 391, 388. I can't get a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see. And the selling. The selling is actually quite. It's very light. There aren't too many people willing to sell, and buyers, yeah, you do get some buyers around 391. The biggest buyer that we have is around 388. If you look at our market depth, it's a pity I don't have more lines here. I only have like 5 lines. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I only have 5 lines when it comes to the market depth. If I had more, I'd be able to tell exactly where most buy orders are. I mean, I would be able to give you that indication. But I feel the market is a buy around 385. This one, the CSP market, cash build. I think it's a buy, and any break below 385, 382, could take us down maybe to 362, but I don't see that happening at the moment. I think the next area that we need to go test from these levels, I think is 420, 422. I think it's 420, 422. If we break above 420, 422, our next layer of resistance is around 442 or 450. That's what I think is happening. Okay, do recent highs communicate anything? Recent highs. Well, it depends. Katlego, I mean, I think they don't mean anything without a context. Uh, they have to be relevant to something. If you're just talking maybe like if you're talking about like the market making higher highs each time, or making new highs and creating a higher lows or something like that, maybe that means something. It means that that market is rising. Our market recently it went to about 520, 525, and sellers came in. They started pushing the price down back to 380 levels where we are right now. So in my view, I understand that we are trading below our moving average on the daily, but I mean this support that we have here around 380 I think is massive, and we should respect it. So for that reason, I think being short this market is not a good idea right now. I wouldn't keep my shorts. Another thing that I want you to check, Katleho, I need you an answer on this one. Please have a look at this bar where I have my cursor on, the highlighted one. Uh, what made you buy CSB? Sorry, short. Sorry, short. What made you short CSB? Okay, Katleho, I'm waiting for you to. Okay, and. Okay, Katleho, I see what you're saying, but I mean, the problem with this is that we are trading at support at the moment, and if this market decides maybe to bounce off that 385, 380 area, you could find yourself in real trouble here with the market really going against you. But I mean, if you're saying that you went in maybe at 405, I think you still have a chance because right now it's at 395, and we could still see it maybe revisiting that level again. I'm really not too sure whether it's going to go back there or not. But I was just highlighting some important areas where I suspect that we may see a bounce on this market. Another thing, I have a couple of things that I would like to highlight to you. This was in Feb this year. The market came down to 385. It hit 385, and buyers stepped in. They pushed the price right up to 470, where the market finally closed for the month of Feb. In March, the market came down to that support area there where we have our blue horizontal line there. That was 422, which makes perfect sense. And we were trading above our moving average here. Buyers stepped in once more. They pushed the price up to 470. I think the final close there was for the month was 483.21. And in in April, the price came right back down again to that, the 385, 390 zone, and buyers came in again. They pushed the price up. So this time, I do not see anything different. We still have like maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks maybe before the end of the month, May. I suspect that you're still going to get more buyers coming in and pushing the price up. We could maybe close this month in the region maybe of 430, 422, 442 or better. I suspect that we're going to do well maybe over the next couple of days on this stock. I do not really think that it's a good idea to play around with with CBS, unless if you are a buyer maybe around 385, maybe selling around 422. I think maybe that could work. But I mean, good effort. I mean, you're trying there. Although what you did there, I don't think that it's safe for you for your account. I think you could easily get wiped out there. Okay, let's look at the stock I mentioned earlier. I mentioned Sasol to you because you brought it to my attention yesterday. Sorry. We said Sasol since 2015 had been bouncing between let's call it what 485, 490. Right now we're at 481.51. I think the last 481.31 last trade price. So around this area here, there's going to be a big battle between buyers and sellers. Buyers are going to be trying to break out of this trap that they're stuck in, that they've been stuck in for the past almost 3 years. They would want to break out and trade higher than those levels. But I mean, the sellers are not going to give up their territory just like that. I think they will really fight for that area and try and push away the buyers that are really encroaching into their territory there. So that area is very important. 481, 485. There could be a lot of happening around there. We could see sellers coming in and pushing the price much lower, back maybe to 360, but 360 is very low. 360, 370 is very low. If the market really does come down, I'm looking at levels like 430, 440 maybe before the market decides what it wants to do next. Another thing that we mentioned the price of Brent. The price of Brent is trading around now very close to $80 per barrel. That is a big issue in the market right now because I mean no one likes a high a high Brent crude price. the high oil price. Everyone hates that because I mean it brings a lot of things with it. It brings inflation. It brings uh, well, I mean a whole lot of ugly things in the market. So no one really likes that. So we must keep an eye on Brent, see what it does. If Brent uh, gets pushed down over the next maybe a couple of weeks, because I mean Brent cannot rise forever. At some point, we need to have sellers coming in and really pushing the price of Brent down. We spoke about it in our morning meeting. We said that we suspect that we could see maybe a little bit of a breather on. We could see a little bit of a breather on Brent, and if that breather becomes sustainable or extends its life in the price of Brent, we could see the price of Brent really pulling back a bit because I mean there's a whole lot going on. There are other projects happening like the shale gas issue that's currently happening in America and the places around America. That's a big story at the moment. There's a lot of interest from investors. We don't know where that is going to lead us going forward. But I mean, we are keeping an eye on that also. Okay, that was Tato is back. Tato, can you hear me now? Okay, so that's what we have on Sasol. Let's look at another market. Let's look at the S&P 500 or the US 500 as they call it on our trading platform. The US 500. This is actually the S&P 500. This is the S&P 500. What a bounce. Okay, this is the S&P 500. We use the S&P 500 to watch uh, how healthy the market is in general, just to see whether the market is in an uptrend or not. Well, I mean, that's what I use it for, to check what the market is doing. Because, I mean, if the global markets are doing well, we usually follow them and also trade or trend higher. Well, I mean, I've just explained that this is the 500 companies listed on the Y on the New York Stock Exchange. These companies, well, I mean, this is the index of all those companies. This is an index. So when we look at this index, it gives us an indication of what we should expect from the market. If you look at it now, in South Africa, we have the JSE All Share Index. Sometimes we just use the top 40 to check how well our local stocks are doing. If you are buying a good company, maybe that has a nice weighting on the top 40 and the top 40 is moving higher, and you happen to go in maybe and buy that stock and it's doing well, yeah, that's sort of like a confirmation that you are actually on the right side of the market. There are a couple of other factors that you need to look into, of course. It just does not end with that. So the US 500, as you can see, it's been trading above its moving average since 2015. If you check, the price is above the candles or those bars. They are above the red line that we have there, the 10 simple moving average. And this time, the market tried to come down below the moving average, testing 2,550, testing 2,600, and we are positive. Month to date, we are up 2.8%. It looks like you're going to have a bit of a bounce here. The levels I'm looking at here, I'm looking at 2,833 maybe at some point this year, as long as we stay above the, the red line or the 10 simple moving average there, there's a good chance that at some point well, I mean, in the next couple of months, we could actually get to that area of 2,833, 2,850. So that's positive for the markets. Let's check. Let's check the day. The day. Okay, let me not do the day. Let me do the weekly first. Do enough. Yes. Okay, yeah, I'll use these turning points here. I'll use this one. This is the turning point. If you put your cursor on it there, you can see that there is a black dot around that area. That's another turning point that we have. Oh, okay. There's this turning point here which I did not mark. You see, right now we have an overhead resistance just above where we are. It's 2,741, 2,742, and the high week to date is 2,741.33. And if it manages to break above this current resistance I'm talking about, we're looking at the market trading between 2,750, sorry, 2,741 and 2,754 before we get to 2,790. After that, maybe we could look to see this market trading much higher to those levels that I mentioned, 2,840, 2,850, towards 2,880. Those are the levels I'm looking at here. Let's look at the daily time frame. The daily time frame. Okay, the daily time frame. As you can see, it's trading above its moving average. It came down for a bit, but I mean that move down was actually short-lived. The market bounced off when buyers stepped in and pushed the market up, and now we are looking at the market going back up to 2,741 once more. If our attempt this time is successful, like I've just said to you, we're going to see the price trading between 2,741 and 2,754. If that 2,754 is taken out, 2,790 is next. So this market is not really that bad. Let's look at our own market. I'm just going to look at the top 40 CFD. That's the top 40 companies listed on the JSE. I want us to have a look at how their chart looks there. So it maybe we can make a meaningful decision going forward as to whether we are buying or selling this market. Okay, I want us to try and get some support that has been supporting this market for or some time. Well, our market is supported around these levels. These are the key areas that I can mark on the monthly chart. If you look at this, we did not have this. We're not using these tails. We're using the line chart to pick those support and resistance areas. This was back in April. In April, the market came right down to 47,000, and look where our horizontal line is. That horizontal line prevented those losses from ballooning on this particular index, and the index started picking up. And the next area, that was now supposed to be resistance, was very easy to crack. We went up and we went above 48,674, and we closed above that area with this nice big candle here. This is a bullish reversal that we have here on a monthly time frame. Let's have a look at the weekly. Why am I looking at this? I'm looking at this to check the state of the market, to check how healthy our market is. If our market is not healthy, this index is not going to look good. Okay, let's mark these levels on the weekly. Can we look at that? Let's them black on the weekly. Marking them black on the weekly. Oh, the weekly support and resistance lines, I'm going to make them black. That's where our resistance is. That's where our resistance is currently. And now let's go back to our candles to check these levels. Okay, sure. We have too many candles here, but they are very important. They are very important. You see, when we had this bounce up here from the lows that took this market down to 47,000, when we had that bounce, this is called a bullish reversal hammer that we have there. As you can see, it looks like a hammer, and we close right at resistance there. At this time, this area of 49,575 was our resistance, and the following week we opened and closed above that resistance. We closed above both resistance levels that we had, and they both became a support. And another week again was above, and here there was a little bit of indecision, but the market bounced off the support levels, and finally we broke above 51,300 or 51,296, and the market has been trading between these two lines here, 52,238, or you can call it maybe 52,240, and 51,300. That's where the market has been trading. There's a 1,000 points between these two lines here, and that's where we are stuck at the moment. If we can get a weekly close or even a daily close, even if you can get a daily close above 52,240 maybe, I think that could be an early warning that this market is starting to pick up. Let's go check our daily chart to see if there's anything that you can use to decide what this market does next. Okay, there's our main resistance there around 52,238. Okay, there is some resistance here, minor resistance. I'm going to mark it. I'll make it black. I'll make it black. So it's 52,500 and 64, 52,600. That's where our resistance is. I want to show you what I mean. Every time the price, you see, the price got here. This was back in Feb, at the beginning of the year. The price got here. It failed. It started coming down to these support levels that we have here. It tried once more. It failed. Came down. It went up. It failed. It tried here in March. It failed again. It came back down, and now we are in May. This market is trying to take out that area of 52,600, and each time it tried to get there, there were always vigilant sellers waiting to sell this market down. So that area, I think, is still very protected. We need to get a nice close above 52,600, 52,600 area. Maybe get I mean, one or two, maybe 3 days above that 52,600 area to confirm the follow through. But overall, the trend in this market is still up. Every time the market goes up to that area there, the dotted line at the top, 52,600, sellers come in, and our support is sitting at 51,296 or 51,300. That's where our support is. So I'm happy holding some longs in this market, provided I get to trade at the right support levels. Support levels I'm looking at. This is the support level I'm looking at. 51,300 or 51,296. Let's check what this market does. If it comes down to 51,296, I think there are buyers waiting around this area here. Buyers will come in and push the market back up to 52,300 at the top there, or 52,240 or 52,560, depending on how aggressive the buyers are in the market. But that's what I see in this market. It's been seesawing for a bit, but looking very good. It's very positive. I think we're still going to have another leg higher, unless if we get something very massive in a negative way. Guys, any questions, any stocks or currency pairs that you have that you want us to have a look at before we close at 1? We are going to be closing at 1. I'm paying some close attention to you guys. It's just, well, I mean, we don't have a lot of people in the room today. So, yeah, it doesn't help for us to stick around forever. Katleho, is there anything? Are you confused? Do you understand how I'm drawing these lines? Is there anything that is giving you some issues? If any, please let me know. Okay, you want us to look at a saw. Okay, let's look at a saw. Let's have a look at the monthly chart first. Okay, I saw we have this area. This is our support. You see this turning point here? We had this turning point back in 2013, and it helped support the market when it was declining this year, so it's still relevant. I know some people say that don't go too far back, but it's important that you do that because I mean that's the main reason why you're using the monthly chart in the first place. I saw it's in a rising trend line. It has been rising since 2016. It crossed above the moving average. Don't know when. I'll check maybe later. I'll check later. These are important, but yeah, going to end up having too many trend lines now. And the top there. Okay, let's just leave it here. Let's just leave it here. Let's just leave it here. Okay, now let's do, okay, first let's do the weekly. I just want us to do the weekly first. Okay, our main resistance on this one is around 440, 450 levels. And currently we've just bounced off this support here. You see, we have support around 277, 280. The market bounced off there and started racing up towards this resistance line here around 319, 320 from 290 to 89 levels. And this is the area where everyone I think is watching. We want to see if this market will manage to maybe close the week above 320 or maybe crack 320, maybe even when you look at I mean a daily time frame. If this market can be able to crack that 319 area, we may see this market rising up towards 338, 340. That I would call that minor resistance because I mean I have other resistance levels that are much bigger than that. So 338, 340 is some overhead resistance that we have if this market manages to break above 320. Yeah, you could actually look to take some longs there. Otherwise, the main one I'm looking at 356, 360 area there at the top. That's where I think price is likely to go to next because I mean there is some positive momentum currently on commodities. So it looks like yeah we may actually push a little bit higher around 356, 360. That's where I think we're going to have a bit of a problem. But I mean, if we manage to break above that, there's a good chance that we're going back up to 440, 450 levels. Okay, there is a let me show you the rising trend line that I mentioned here earlier. It's in a rising trend. Looking at this rising trend line here, this rising trend line, it has been going up nicely. Another rising trend line. This is another rising trend. This is another rising trend line within a rising trend line. If you guys can allow me to say that. Okay, let's draw a falling trend line here. Okay, we're in a downtrend since, well, I mean, this started, I think, in, well, I mean, middle of Jan 2018, and the price just kept on declining until it got to our support around 280, 270 area. From there, we got a chance to attract some beat there. From there, the market went up. It went above the falling trend line. This trend line here that has been declining. It went above that, so now we're trading above. We just need to take out this area of 319, 320. But I mean, there is still a chance that we may still come down to 290 if things change in this market. But in my view, this area here, 390, sorry, 290, 280, there's good support around there. So I am happy with I'm happy with people that are holding some longs on this one. Although I'm worried about this 319. Let us check here if we can pick up anything, maybe using the. Let me now try and get those support levels on the daily. That support on the daily. How am I going to? Okay, let's use this one. That's support on the daily time frame. Support on the daily. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm using the daily time frame. Now let's forget the solid lines. Let's just forget on these dotted lines here. You see, around when the price maybe gets around 305, 307, that's where maybe I could look to take some longs on 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 ASR or ASO. That's where I could look to take some longs, and I would have my stop loss below 299 somewhere there. Let's check. Yeah, I'd have my stop below 299, maybe 280, 298, 95 maybe. That's where I would have my that's where I would have my stop. I'd look to go long around 304, 305. Anything, okay, let's just say anything between 305 and 310. Anything between 305 and 310. The only issue is that it looks like today we're going to have a close below the moving average. Let me check. Looks like we may have a close below the moving average. If we get a close below the moving average, uh, closer to our resistance there at 20, we could see the price maybe coming back down to 300. We could see maybe the price coming down to 300. But if that doesn't happen, we could see this market rising higher. So you must know that if you are going in to take a long on this one, ASR, you are being aggressive. Anything is possible. The price could still come down maybe to 300 or even maybe 290 if I mean the selling really persists. Otherwise, I'm bullish on the stock. I think that there's a good chance that we could spring higher, getting to maybe 360 possibly. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I don't know if you got what I've just said now. I was talking about 305 and 310 around that zone. I would look maybe to go in and initiate some long trades, but with a clear understanding that we have some overhead resistance around 319, 320. You need to keep that. You need to keep that. I mean, you need to stay aware of that. That there's a problem around 319, 320. A break above 320. is a good break. I think if there is a follow through above that, you can actually do very well going forward. That's what I think we have on ASO. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, because today I was just showing you support and resistance, are you able to do some of these support and resistance levels on your own, Kateho and Tato? Are you guys able to do some of these? I don't expect you to be 100% right, because no one is. But I just need you guys to be able to try and do those and make sense to someone you're explaining to if they want any reasons why maybe you are buying a stock or a currency pair. I'm very happy, my brother. I'm very happy. I like your effort. Thank you so much, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions or any suggestions, I think we should close our session here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'll be doing another webinar session between half past, I mean, it starts at 10:30 and it ends at, no, it starts at 10 and it ends at 11:30. Sorry about that. It starts at 10, ends at 11:30. Well, you'll get there. Just make sure that you learn these support and resistance levels using your line chart. At some point, you're definitely gonna get there, Katleho. Thank you very much, guys, for attending and giving your input. Thank you so much. I appreciate. See you guys tomorrow if you will have a chance.